Hey girl, I want to make this vlog for the other woman out there that gave it their all for their manifestations and their business or whatever it is and truly believed. Like, there's no subconscious blocks. There's no, well, you didn't believe. Like, for the woman that know deep down that they truly believed and they gave it their all and they honored their emotions and their bodies or whatever, and it didn't work out. And I want to talk to you about my experience since my last vlog, which I filmed that weeks before I actually posted it. So for me, it's been a while. For YouTube, that vlog's only been up for like a couple weeks, I think. But I want to share with you my experience since that vlog and, hopefully help someone else process some really hard things. And if you don't know anything about these manifestation vlogs, because it's not like we have a lot of views. I set out about a year and a half ago to manifest my dream life, and I set out to just follow my intuition, honor my body, keep myself regulated, feel and honor all my emotions, nurture and foster healthy beliefs, remove limiting beliefs, all that. And I did an excellent job at it. So much so that I ended up making a business out of it, even though that wasn't my goal. And in fact, I actively wanted to not make that the center of my business for a long time. But then eventually I felt like that was my calling, which I think was also by design. There's no mistakes. We don't make any mistakes. And whatever, I get to the end and my business didn't take off. Nothing happened. And I'm now having to go back to a 9 to 5, something I never, if you would, well, actually, I was about to say, if you would have asked me to bet my life savings on it, I would have, but I did. I literally did. Like, a lot of the money that I was living off of was money that I had put away to buy a house. And I justified using that money for my journey, for my jump or my leap. Because I was like, well, I'm never going to get to the point where I can get a house or whatever if I'm stuck in these shops and whatever. But anyways, I bet it all. And never in a million years would have thought I'd be going back to a 9 to 5. And as I've been processing, which I would argue it's processed, but as I've been processing this grief and these hard things and these hard feelings, I wanted to share a little bit about my experience. And what was interesting is, of course I went through the phases of me being really sad and devastated, and I'm really glossing over that, really glossing over that. But sad and devastated are not even strong enough words, but we're going to use those just for now. Right. I went through that, and then I was expecting a little more anger or rage because I felt like that would be a phase. And that came around for about during 2 days, because it wasn't the full 2 days of sitting in that, but it was around for those like 2 days. And, I just felt it. I was honest with myself. I went on a lot of walks during this phase. I've gone on a lot of just like no social media. In fact, the week leading up to July 1st, because that was my last week. So, and I was treating it as if I was in like hospice. And I actually was reading this book that was talking about hospice. It was about hospice. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna love myself and nurture my body and stuff as much as I can, because there's nothing else I can do. Like, the date is coming. And I was just like, I'm going to believe up until the end that something could happen, but, whatever. And of course I was crying. It was like there's actually a term for it. This isn't the term, but think like premeditated grief. That's not the word. Premeditated is not the word, but like pre-grief, whatever. And I was experiencing a lot of that, crying, sadness, whatever. But because I've been doing, I shouldn't even say been doing, I have a lifestyle of regulating my nervous system and honoring my emotions and stuff, I was able to process this grief and in a way that was healthy. That doesn't mean there was no escapism. Like, I definitely allowed myself to be like, I'm eating this dessert or whatever, and stuff, and just I allowed myself to distract myself some. But when stuff got really serious, that's when I was like, okay, I'm cutting the social media, I'm cutting this, I'm cutting that, and I really just want to be here with my thoughts, and hold myself through this, and whatever, because this is not a small thing. And what's weird, what made me want to come on here and talk about it, is I almost I almost feel a relief in some way, or almost like some weight lifted off my shoulders that I didn't think was ever there. Because if you've been watching, or if you've watched any of my vlogs, you'll see how throughout this entire journey, I've been very happy. Like, yes, there have been times where I was like upset about something, or I was processing something, or dealing with something with a friend, or something's happening in the family, like life would life. But I have been very happy and excited about my business. I've been wanting to work with other women in this work, in emotional regulation. I specifically wanted to work with Black women and other neurodivergent women, and that was just, and I felt like this is my calling, at least for now, because I'm big on, like, it's not that I feel like we're gonna be doing the same thing for the rest of our lives, but I was like, for wherever I'm at right now, this feels like what I'm supposed to be doing, and I really wanted to help other women with that, and I still do, to be honest. Like, I've learned that what's fulfilling for me is genuinely changing somebody else's life, genuinely helping other women, genuinely helping other people, whatever, right? And so like, throughout this journey, I haven't felt like I've been carrying anything, or whatever, but there's, after the crying, after the rage, after being honest with myself about how I feel, allowing myself to feel that, allowing myself to cry, and not abandoning myself in that moment, or in those moments. And now that I feel like a lot of it has been processed and I'm at a place more of acceptance, I almost feel a relief from my dreams, if that makes any sense. I'm still really young, so I'm not saying I'll never have dreams again and I'll never want to do anything again. And I'm not even saying I'm completely abandoning my business. It's already made. I just need clients. It already exists. I've invested a lot of money into this business. But I feel what I've been experiencing a lot recently is I'm like, you know what? I gave it my all. And that was something I was saying even through the tears, even when I was like in the thick, even in the premeditated grief, since I don't know what the actual term is. That was something that kept coming up as I was just like, I gave it my all, man. I gave it my all. I stayed true to what I said I was going to do, which I did. I did. And up until recently, it was challenging to still show gratitude for what I have. You know how they say, just be grateful. And I was still like, yeah, I guess I'm grateful for the bare fucking minimum. Like, that's like really what I kept saying. Like, yeah, I'm grateful. I would kind of force some affirmations after a few days because I didn't want negative stuff to get too much momentum. Because if there's anything I've learned on this journey is how, like, plastic the brain really is, how, like, influential it really is. And if you say stuff enough or whatever, it gets momentum and all that. So I didn't want to give too much momentum to stuff that I don't want to manifest and stuff that I don't believe, because even though this failed, lack of a better word, I don't turn back on my beliefs. Like, the spiritual experiences I had are very real. My knees healing is still an incredible thing to me. And that and my nervous system are the two biggest things I've taken out of this journey. Even though I'm not happy about the results, even though I didn't get what I wanted, I really have a whole new outlook on life and blah, 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 right? but it's interesting. It's interesting to me because I felt like, yeah, I'll say felt. I guess I'll use past tense. That like, damn, I had a year and a half to make a better life for myself, and I couldn't do it, which was ridiculous to me. To me, a year and a half is a long time to figure out how to make money on your own without suffering. And the fact that I didn't succeed at that is still like, I'm still not fully understanding how that happened. But despite me following my intuition and all this, whoop, whoop, whoop. But I feel like, as cliche as it is, what you gain in the process is so rich. I, the way I've been even able to process this grief is a result of the emotional regulation work I've put in throughout the journey. The peace that I feel right now, because that's really how I feel now. That is the like weight off the shoulders I was kind of alluding to earlier, of just like, I feel very complete. I feel very complete and whole. Like, you know what? I did my best. I kept my word. I honored my body. I built a great relationship with it. I will continue to grow a relationship with my intuition. There's, whatever to unpack there, but there's that. But the way my happiness just cannot be tied to my external circumstances, I think, is one of the biggest things. That doesn't mean that can't get rocked and shaken or changed. Like, bish, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely, life will still be life in, but, and that doesn't mean that I won't ever be upset about my external circumstances. Y'all know how I feel about living in this place, for example. Like, I freaking want to move. Let me not even get started on that. But to no longer have something that I have to do, to no longer like feel like a job is keeping me from working on my business, or if I could just give it my all, if I can just focus on this, it's like, okay, well, I did that. I did that. I did it. I went and gave it my all in something, and then it didn't work out. So you know what? I'm just going to take life one day at a time and make it as enjoyable as I can, and be grateful for the fact that I even have a job to go into, that I even have an option. Because with the workforce right now and the pay and the cost of things right now, like, I feel lucky and grateful that I even found something that I can do. And who knows, bitch, I still have a business meeting next week. Maybe maybe I'll close a client. I mean, whatever. But it's like, I don't have to worry about after work, I don't have time to work on my business. It's like, I'm not working on my business anymore. If that business grows and works out and I start wanting to pour even more into it, then I'll do that. But right now, I'm just like, I feel very at peace. I feel very at peace with myself. And I feel very strongly that the love that I've gained for myself has astronomically improved my relationships and the love that I have to give other people. And that doesn't mean that every relationship is like, no, I shouldn't even say that. Like, it doesn't mean that like my relationship situation is not still what it is, because I've shared on here before how I still wish I had like a best friend or a partner or significant other. I still don't have those. And that was also something that was hard to sit with. Like, I had a year and a half to manifest a fucking friend, and I couldn't even do that. I had a year and a half to manifest getting my skin back, and I couldn't even fucking do that. Like, my skin barrier is just now healing from some shit that happened. Like, what the fuck? Like, I had a year and a half to manifest enough money so that I don't have to suffer for my money and I can move somewhere else, and I couldn't fucking do that. Like, those were a lot of the thoughts that I was just dealing with, because it and even still listening to it right now, I honestly, it still is what the fuck to me. But it's okay. I feel like I've made my peace with it. I've made my peace with it all. And you can too. and giving yourself the same grace that you would give others and the same grace that you would give a friend. And I feel like I have so much more capacity and love for others, strangers and friends and family, now than I did before, and than I did before this journey. And, you know, it's never wasted. There's never wasted time. You don't make any mistakes. You don't make any wrong decisions. Everything that's happening is supposed to happen, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be, even if you don't like where you're at. Because, bish, the way I am sick of this fucking apartment. The way I want to move here so bad. Move out of here so bad. You know, like, so don't get it twisted. But I feel you can hold both of those at once. You can want better for yourself. You can know deep down that you deserve better. And still be at peace. And it's kind of nice not having anything that I'm gunning for, oddly enough. I've been gunning, even though I felt like I've been like taking my time and relaxing and stuff this whole journey, you know, not even having the weight of trying to make something work and just literally tossing it all up. Like, it was already tossed up, right? But I feel like at a blank state. I feel like I just graduated high school type of blank state of just like, so what now? You know, and then it's like, it's kind of like a positive thing. I can do whatever. I can be whatever, and whatever's meant for me will come for me. Whatever's meant to thrive will thrive. And in the meantime, I'm going to spend my free time doing things that I enjoy and that I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to do certain hobbies like knitting and whatever that I don't do because I was spending time on my business and what's next for making it work and honoring my body and doing this and that. And it's like now I don't, I don't know what to say other than that shrug. It really, it's so weird, but I almost feel like freed from my own dreams. And it's not that I don't want my dreams anymore. It's not that my dreams aren't still my dreams. It's not that I don't want my business or something, you know, to thrive to where I don't have to be suffering at a job and being in the car every day. But I just can't let that rocket me back into an old way of existing. I've seen my life change before my eyes, and you know, simple day-to-day things flow. It could be as simple as the parking spot, and getting the last thing on the shelf at the grocery store, and whatever. But you can't leave yourself behind. And that's something I've been saying a lot during the journey. That's what I put in the description of my last vlog, even when I was like still very disappointed and still like not happy. And that's what I'm saying to you right now. You don't ever have to leave yourself behind. You can always comfort yourself and give yourself the love that you know you deserve. And honestly, it makes it that you have so much more love to give to life and people in general. And so that's what I wanted to say, girl. I hope, first of all, I hope your dreams just come true. You know, I hope that you're not even having to make peace with anything and that shit just fucking works out. But if it doesn't, it's okay. And just, you know, it's happening in your best interest. And you will always gain something from the journey of whatever journey you're on, be it your business, relationship, whatever, you know, you will always gain something. And I still firmly believe that pouring into yourself and changing your mindset changes your life, even if it doesn't look like it. I am walking out of this with a new life, even though it doesn't fucking look like it.